welcome to another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. Today's Black Friday, and myself, who plans way ahead and gets all of their Christmas presents way before all the sales need to go on, I'm lying. I'm not going shopping today. Instead, what I decided to do was to come out to the range because I knew most people would be out shopping. So it's very cold out here. It's about 34 degrees. You'll probably see flurries flying around. It's a little bit windy, and I forgot my shooting gloves. So you guys are gonna see the Kyle Rittenhouse gloves again. But the reason I'm wearing these is because even though it's only a thin 7mm glove, this is enough to keep your hands pretty warm when it's 34 out, as long as they don't get wet. So as long as I keep my hands dry today, I'll be able to do some good shooting. So it's a nice cold day. It's gonna be a little bit windy, but I'm out here today with my Cyelee Ghost HDG. This is the red dot that I recently just did a install video on with my SIG M17, the venerable, or whatever you want to say, infamous P320 that go off accidentally. Again, this to me is a range gun. I'm not carrying this thing. The sight for me is just something to try to get myself more used to red dots and to get used to shooting with them with my eyes open. So what I'm going to do, I have targets set up at only 5 and 7 yards right now. I might push them back a little bit, but I want to get used to this Ghost red dot. I want to see how quickly I can acquire my targets and how well I can do on my targets. So that's what we're going to do. I have a variety of round nose ammo here. I'm not doing any hollow points right now just because I'm just doing target shooting. So let's get started with the SIG P320 M17 with the Cyelee Ghost HDG red dot on here, and let's see how we can do. Make that thing nice and bright. Oh yeah. I'm going to start off just taking some shots at some targets at 7 yards. I will shoot with both my eyes open. I'm wearing glasses because the sun's shining right in my eyes, so these are darker glasses. But I'm going to be shooting with both of my eyes open. I know that's what everybody says I should do, so you won't see me, squinting. And I'm going to take some shots at the 2 targets I have set up at 7 yards, and let's see how I can do with the Cyelee HDG Ghost red dot. And my whole point here is to try to just see how quickly I can get that thing up in front of me. So I can tell you right now, those first 2 shots are a little bit low. I don't even think I brought the tools with me to adjust it, so we'll see if I can get that done or not. But so this was my first magazine. The first 2 rounds were right here. This was the 3rd round, and then I pulled it back in, so you can definitely see it shooting a little bit low. But that's not a bad group. That's really about 3.5 inches at 7 yards. Pretty rapid shooting. I'm gonna go ahead and aim a little bit higher, and I'll put another magazine through it. I'll leave the camera on the target so you can see how the accuracy is. So you can see it's definitely still shooting low. I was trying to aim right about here, and I did get a bunch of them in this area here, but I am still shooting quite low, so I do need to adjust that up. I'm going to see if I have a small enough screwdriver in my toolbox to adjust that, and then we'll come back and try again. So far though, I am loving that red dot. Like I said in the intro video, it's like having a bionic eye. When you hold your eyes open and you look at the target, as long as you can see that whole reticle in the window, you're going to get on target. And that's the whole thing. It's not necessarily about the best accuracy that you can get, but it's about getting on target and staying on target quickly, where you don't have to focus on the sight so much. If you can keep your eyes open, which again is what I'm trying for, it's a lot easier to bring that thing up quickly, get that sight in the viewing window, and then just pelt the target. Let's see if I can adjust it. All right, so I did have a little tiny screwdriver in my toolkit. I was able to adjust the elevation and the windage just a tiny bit on that red dot. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple more shots. So on these targets I'm shooting at, there's 3 bullseye targets on the top, 1 on the left, 1 on the head, and then 1 on the right. That's what I'm gonna be aiming at. And let's see how I can do. Maybe I'll do 5 shots in each one of those, and let's see how the accuracy is now that I have it pretty close to 0. So again, I'm gonna be shooting at these 3 targets here, 5 shots each, and let's see how the accuracy is now that I have it zeroed. Well, I did pretty good on this first one. This one, not so good. You know, pretty wide group. And then this one, I think I hit a couple off to the right-hand side. So I was starting to get a little bit shaky because I was trying to focus. Sometimes with red dots, it's better to just point and shoot and see what the accuracy is. I could do better than this if I was really taking my time and concentrating on my trigger pull. Overall, that's pretty good. I mean, this is 2.5 or 3 inch circle here, and most of them were in that. So I mean, it's still about a 3 inch group here, a 3 inch group here. This one's a little bit bigger, and I think this one actually was from this group, so maybe it was more like a 4.5 inch group. But still, that's the size of my fist. All of those shots would have fit in a fist, so not too bad. Let's try to do a little bit of rapid fire shooting. I'm gonna go with this target, and I'm just gonna aim at the center. So I do have some shots up here in the head and stuff, but I'm gonna aim mostly on the center here, and let's see how the accuracy is at some rapid fire. Now again, this is an 18 by 10 target, so the total area of this black zone is 10 inches. This area in the middle is about 5 by 3.5, and I can pretty much cover all of those shots with my hand. So again, rapid fire, the majority of the rounds are right here in the center where you want them to be. For me, for a rapid deployment, something that you can get on target and keep on target very quickly and pretty reliably, I think that's a win. I mean, I think I'm definitely doing better with that red dot than I was with the ready dot on my Ruger Max 9. Of course, I haven't practiced with that gun nearly as much, but this is pretty good for me. So I'm gonna do a little bit of torture testing on that, you know, beat it up a little bit and see if I can keep the 0, and then we'll take some more shots. You guys, I can't even believe it. I just did about a 5-minute spiel on torture testing this thing. I was banging this red dot on the table, slapping my gun down on its side to try to beat this thing up, and then I put 2 magazines through it at the target, and it worked perfectly fine. The only problem is my camera wasn't rolling. I have beat this thing on the table about 25 times from 18 inches up, from a foot up. I've beaten it on its side, I've punched it, and what I was trying to show was that it will not lose its 0. So again, I'm hitting this thing pretty hard, and this simulating throwing it in your range bag, you know, not caring about it, throwing it in your console of your truck. Maybe you're wearing it on your appendix carry, which again, I know people don't like 320s to carry, but if you're carrying a gun and it's getting beat up on that red dot. So now that I've beat it around a whole bunch, I'm gonna switch over here to my target, And let's just make sure that my zero has not shifted. So I'm going to be shooting at this target right here. And let's see how the zero is now after beating this thing up over 25 times. For some reason, my M17 does not like Blazer round nose. I don't know why. It must be a light ammo and it needs a little bit hotter ammo. But I think it's safe to say that the point of impact has not changed. So that was 2 magazines worth coming out of here. With the exception of this round, everything is pretty much in that 9 ring or 10 ring, whatever you want to call it. That's pretty good. Even after beating that thing up like 25, 30 times on the table, I would say that that red dot has not lost its zero, and I would recommend it. It's a great price for the value, or a great value for the price, I guess. Cyelee pits them up against all the big retailers out there, you know, the Hollow Suns and all those out there, and my buddy over at Buckeye Ballistics highly recommends them as well. He's done tons of torture testing on their red dots, and I would say for the money, you should check them out. That thing shoots remarkably well, and it's held zero even after beating the living crap out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put one more magazine through it today, and then we'll close out the video. I don't have a ton of 9mm to shoot today. Well, I mean, I brought 250 rounds, but this is I'm about at 150 out of that 250, so I'm trying not to shoot it all with my M17 here. But the whole point of this video was just to showcase that this Ghost HDG, which is meant to be a competition optic, is phenomenal. I mean, I was sent this for free to test out. Again, I've beat this thing a whole bunch. I'm denting the wood here on my shooting bench, and this thing has just been phenomenal. Now, I don't normally recommend shooting without safety glasses, but I'm only doing it for this last little clip to show you, my viewers, that I am trying to get better, and I am shooting with my red dot with my eyes open. So thanks again for watching. Have a great day. God bless America. Support your 2A rights. Get out there and shoot. And you remember, if someone asks you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, remind them that freedom is always the greater good.